Hi guys, Eric Pathy here at PickDogs.com for your overnight 222.25 report. Well, yesterday was another winning day, whether you were a premium member or whether you were an all access member. But once again, let me illustrate the difference. 5 games, 3 wins, 2 losses, a little up 1 unit, less the VIG if you flat bet every game the same. But if you followed the unit rating system, you won a 7 unit play, you won an 8 unit play, you won a 2 unit play, and you lost a 6 unit and a 2 unit play, which means you made 8.6 units. That means if you were a dime per unit player, you made $8,600 yesterday versus flat betting all 5 games the same for $1,000 each, winning 3,000, losing 2,200 at minus 110 odds, and making that small differential of $800, 0.8 of a unit versus 8.6 units of a unit. So if you want to send me a text message to get involved with Big Al's All Access, we'll put together a package that works your individual wagering goals and needs. 443-957-1006. Or as always, you can send me an email at eric@pickdogs.com, but I'll answer that later. The best way to reach me is to text me directly so I can respond immediately. And Al, not only did you have an 8 unit winner yesterday, you went against a team that's 5 minutes from my office, Towson State University.
Yeah, the game kind of went down to the wire. Elon didn't pull ahead until the last 2 minutes of the game. So it was a fun game to follow. But I was thinking about you when I gave the play out. I realized that Towson was on your doorstep.
So it's funny, Duke, as you know, my partner who's no longer with us, he used to say the only thing that matters is the final score, not how you get there.
100% true.
So with that being said, I know this is another huge board of college action on this Saturday. And I know you're not sleeping and probably won't sleep till April. So what do we got going on today's complimentary selection?
Yeah, I'm going to do NBA for the comp play, but yeah, it is a huge college card on Saturday. For the comp play, we're going to look at the Phoenix Suns. They stumbled out of the gate. No surprise, they've been underperforming the whole season, and they stumbled against the San Antonio Spurs. That game was played in Austin, Texas. San Antonio, without Wemby, still beat Phoenix as an underdog, 120-109. The Suns, though, have generally been really good off upset road losses. They're 65-28 ATS in that situation. They're playing a Chicago Bulls team that went to overtime against New York Knicks, their first game out of the break. And the Bulls are a poor 51-89 ATS versus Western Conference foes if the Bulls are at home and the Western Conference foe is off a point spread loss. So we're going to take the Phoenix Suns minus the points over the Chicago Bulls on Saturday as a free play.
And just to ask you a question, because I get a lot of this with the clientele. So obviously you already know these numbers. The worst team against the spread in NBA as of right now is the Phoenix Suns, 1935-1, only to be second by Philadelphia, 1934-2, and the Sacramento Kings, 1932-4. So you and I both know that, well, you may not know, but I know from talking to the clients on the phone, it's the gut instinct is, oh, the Suns are laying points, let me just fade them. So, and what I like is when you give out these games, you're talking about systems like 65-28, which is a bigger number than the 19-35 of the current year.
Yeah, I mean, but different issue. But, a lot of people, I remember I had a conversation with Steve Fezzik probably about a month ago about the Miami Hurricanes, who had at the time, they were the worst point spread team in college basketball historically, like going back to 1990. They had the worst point spread differential of any team out of like tens and tens and tens of thousands of games. But my conversation with him at the time was, going forward, I was saying, Miami was going to be roughly 50-50 just because they had been, doing horribly against the spread going into that date. Didn't mean it was going to continue after it. I meant to check the other day. I should just check now as we're doing this to see, like, since that point in time, what Miami of Florida's point spread record has been since being the worst team in the history of college basketball. So let me just pull that up real quick. Sure. as an illustration. Because the Phoenix Suns are 19-35 ATS, in their final 30 games, they're probably going to be somewhere between 13 and 17 and 17 and 13 ATS, right?
Got it.
That's,
Got it.
but anyway, um,
And you can also people do the opposite, which is the best team is the Cavs 36 and
Cavs,
18,
yeah,
and then they want to be double downing at inflated numbers on the Cavs.
yeah. So let me just see what Miami has done since they went out on the West Coast trip and played California and Stanford. Since then, look at this. Since my conversation with Steve, it was before the Stanford game where they also didn't cover, but including that Stanford game where they didn't cover, Miami is 6-2 ATS through the last 8.
There you go.
And that's how it works. I mean, they were the absolute worst team right at that point, late January, and since then they're 6-2 ATS.
To quote what I just told a client before we started this video, if it was as easy as just taking the good teams and betting against the bad teams, then everybody would make money.
Yeah, I mean, part of the trick, I wouldn't call it a trick, but part of the skill of a handicapper is understanding the highs and lows of sports betting, buying low and selling high, as they say. Look at Towson, right? I mean, yesterday, that was our Coastal Athletic Association, game of the year. I think Towson had won 12 straight games going into the game against Eli.
Yep, they've been performing amazing.
Right. Well, that was the right time to go against Towson.
There you go, guys. So if you want to get a little more of this insight and all those ratings overlaid, by all means, send me a text message, 443-957-1006. We're going to lay the points with the Suns. And as always, good day and good luck.